Greetings folks, Pastas here with an update for my two-handed warrior build. Lots of damage, crippling stagger and the highest self-heal possible of any other build type. And many different options for gear. There are several ways you can build two-handed weapons in this game, but since I have two more two-handed build coming out soon, trademark, I went toward full beef this time, fully physical, no random stuff. We stack as much HP as possible, convert them in damage, so we won't die easily. In this video I will go through gear location, alternative options, perks and attributes like usual, and of course a fully dedicated spoiler-free leveling section. So strap in, because it's time to cook. In my final setup I ended up using Galahad Mace, the true mace, not the one that you get in Act 1. However, since this is a super late item, you need to finish the main story in Act 3 to get it. So I ended up using the lightning hammer from Act 1 for 90% of the game, and you can even use this in final setup if you like, or any other two-handed weapon. The main difference is that thanks to the Galahad Mace, I don't need critical chance from gear, so I can allocate more HP. However, you can also do the inverse and pump perception instead for critical damage and sneak damage, and then use undertow, but that will cost a lot of health. Plus, I don't want every build to be a copycat. If you want to use any other two-handed weapon on this build, you can just change your attributes accordingly. In the leveling section, I will talk about what I used before I used Galahad Mace. For weapon relics, I suggest to just slap a couple of Starborn eggs, unless you want one Crimson Shard to have a status effect active so you can benefit of Expulsion or Affliction sooner. In alternative, Fist of Strain for stamina recovery is also amazing if your crit is decent. Helmet. Our main helmet is Crystal Walker from Act 3. This will allow us to convert endurance into extra damage, making strength in comparison a much weaker stats. If we also consider that we get 1% melee damage from our skill tree, 4 points in endurance. I don't think there is any other helmet that is this good for a physical setup, so I will not just suggest anything else. For chest, I ended up using the Blackwater armor, the female version from Sarras. This is useful to increase our stamina and health. Of course, the male version can also be used. As I did not allocate points in dexterity on this build, I skipped Lancelot entirely. If you end up using a weapon with dexterity requirement, you can also use Lancelot. If you want physical damage, you can also use the kilt from the tutorial, or Act 3, depending when you kill the dude, or you can craft even the Ravenous armor. This one will require no dexterity. For boots, boots is a flex spot. If you need crit, Crystal Walker is excellent. Naturally, if you have a Galahad equipped, you don't need it. My choice ended up being Volker's Warborn to cut down stamina cost. If you, however, have points in dexterity, you can go with Lancelot or even Gawain, choice is yours. My main gloves are Blackwater from Sarras to convert HP in damage. Naturally, the higher your HP are, the better. In alternative, and before, I used Abigor gloves, which are also good. For pants, my main pants are Crystal Walker. The loss of dodges is not as relevant because in Act 3 our life leech is gonna be fully up, our damage is gonna be good. Volker's Warborn, however, are an option if you don't want to lose your dodges, and it will give you critical damage instead. For back item, my main back item is Plague Rate from Act 2. You can also grab Cloak from killing certain NPC of the Stone Warden clan, like the one in the Old Mother Temple camp. If you need crit, Winged Back Cavalier is your go-to, crafted from Act 3. You need to do a couple of quests for Atli before you get the recipe. For amulets, my main item was Blood and Ram from Sarras. It's however not the best HP amulet, because if you do the entire blacksmith questline that starts in Act 1 up to Act 3, you learn how to craft the 25% max HP amulet. In alternative, you can also go with an elemental amulet, either fire from Act 3 or cold one from Sarras. Novice Garanter amulet from Act 2 is good, or even no quarter from Sarras for extra melee damage. For rings, my main rings are Arthur Seals from Act 1 and Old Steel Ring from Act 1. If you need crit, you can also use Perilous Orbs from Act 1, or even the perfect ring for a warrior from Act 1 is also a good choice. There is also the Ring of Arcane Transmutation from the Man in the Night quest in Act 2, which will provide you with a very good amount of flat HP. Now, let's look at the attributes. Okay, let's look at our attributes. These are my final stats with the Galahad Mace on, of course. Minimum requirement, will change depending on your weapon. If you want to use the lightning, you need 12 points of strength and 4 endurance, which is good because we can meet this very early in Act 1. No dexterity, no spirituality. Practicality 5 points because we are using Plague Wraith cape. If you're not using the same cloak, then it's not a requirement anymore for you. And then 8 points of perception are the minimum to use Galahad mace. Generally, if you're using Winged Back Cavalier, you need 6, but anyway, if you are not playing with the Galahad mace, then you will need to invest more in perception. Now, let me pop an origin potion and I will show the location to level up. This will depend on what you do in the tutorial. If you're skipping the tutorial, then you'll miss out on the initial chest, which is the kilt that we're gonna get from Concours. If you don't want to kill him, then we need to do stats a little different. Regardless, I will still start with 8 points in strength, 4 endurance. If you do not have the Concours gear, then you want to go 6 endurance, so you can use Knight and Dual Knight. We're gonna pump to 12. Now you can use the Lightning and Big Bonk 6 endurance, 10 endurance, 15 strength, 15 endurance, 8 perception, and depending now on the stats that you need, you go toward it. If you are following what I did with the Galahad mace, or even if you want to play with no crit and stack in full endurance, you can. If instead of endurance you want to stack perception because you want even more damage, that is up to you. Okay, let's quickly go through the skill tree. We're starting in strength because of course, max Brutish Fighter, unstoppable force, fury without fatigue, 1 point in mighty blow, perpetual swing, in practicality, born in armor, inner strength, 1 point in godly physique, weapon of the great theft, executioner, max mighty blow, max godly physique, max enduring strikes. As soon as you lock red death, doesn't matter your level, you put priority here. It's the best way you can do to survive. Unstoppable impact, 1 point, dominating presence, increased vitality, in perception, 1 point in extra lucky, critical cascade, respite in cruelty maxed, 2 points in deep wounds, 2 points in critical aegis, 2 points in bloodthirst, 3 points in exploitation of affliction, and then you finish with go for the eyes. If you are higher level, take go for the eyes. You can take points in the red death. You can take unnatural resilience for extra HP. There are many things that you can take realistically. If you want an extra layer of survivability, then you want to go agility, fast reflexes, and temporal sleep. Temporal sleep will proc when you start to sprint in combat and you crouch. Some people don't like this, but it's quite powerful. If you want to take temporal sleep during leveling, take it. Up to you, really. These are my suggestions for the core points of the build. Okay, let's look at the Sarras Perks. We go in Warrior, Strength in Number, Menace of the Wary, very good, Desire for Speed, Useful Overload, Kickstart, and if you get a 6 points, you can go Vicious Gamble. Okay, my voice might sound bad because I am still terribly sick, but I can finish this video. We can do this. In the tutorial, you can choose what life path you want. It will not have this big impact. I went with joining the army and healer for blood transfusion, but you always get blood transfusion in a side room later. Get the HP statuette. Get the origin potion. You don't want to miss on this one. I will highly suggest you to kill the barbarian, because the armor is gonna be very good for our early section. But if you don't want to kill this NPC, it's up to you. Let's do the same with the monk, because we need that stamina ring. Then we want to bait our tutorial Asmongold. You'll see what I mean after he's dead. By not going too far so he doesn't kill us. And closely, you pull him out, and then you loot him. The sword is excellent starting two-handed weapon.
But I won't fall so easily. You'll pay for that. I'll test your metal.
On the shore, let's get the recipe and the tag. Buy 3 deer antler from the merchant.
It's not.
Redeem those antlers for some extra movement speed. Let's get another stamina ring. Do all the druid shrines throughout the game. Each zone you complete is another permanent bonus. It's gonna be 10 HP, 10 stamina, and then 10% critical chance in Act 3. Let's get our Swain Battle Axe, which is gonna be an upgrade. It's quite good as well. Let's learn the recipe to make the extra dodge back item. Just one word of advice. Don't put relics into that back item and then try to turn in the quest, because you might lose the item with the relic in it. So be careful. Let's get a health recovery relic. It will make your quality of life much better. Our next upgrade comes from the Rusty Bounty, the Bone Club. You can use that one for a while. It's really not a difficult opponent for you to kill.
This is mine.
After that, we also want to kill the giant. The giant is a little more dangerous. You can use the well in the middle to kite off fireballs if you're playing in veteran. If you're playing in lower difficulty, this enemy is not gonna be a problem regardless of your level.
We'll make short work of you.
Now we want to start the quest for the watchtower. You don't even have to finish if you want. I would still advise you to finish it. It will reward us with a very powerful hammer that will trivialize the first duelist Abigor. So just do it. Get the origin potion. On the way to the keep, it's time to kill Abigor. If you're using the Spinebreaker, you don't have to worry about the melee retaliation, because, well, Abigor can't do anything. He's powerless to stop you. Just don't get hit if you're playing veteran, because he can still one-shot you. In the crypt, let's get the free perception book. And then we straight go for the lightning hammer. You don't even have to solve the quest or fight the mini-boss. You can come here at any time you want, just don't start any conversation. Here we can take one early relic to use. Here, one starborn egg, which is gonna be quite important for you as well. If you want some extra XP, you can kill Baldy again. If your level is decent, even in veteran, it's not a hard fight.
Don't resist, and you might just survive. I don't back down.
Here we can get a stamina amulet that I used for most of the game actually. It's quite decent. Don't forget to buy a bonus attribute point from Uguay in the Allmother Temple camp. When it's time to go in Act 2, use the south entrance because it's safer, mobs are less dangerous, especially at lower level. Town, buy the bonus attribute and skill points from the NPC that are there. Make sure you have enough money. When you're confident in your damage and your ability to dodge, start the Red Death questline in the hospital located here.
Now.
You're going to feel
In the tool house, on your way for the Red Death questline, talk with the totem, trade some health for 2 bonus points. In Act 3, there is another bonus attribute point you can take. In the description, there is a playlist with all the bonus attribute points and all the stuff as well. I didn't include everything in this video because it would have been too long, so check it out if you're interested. Once you finish all the Druid Shrines in Act 3, you will get 10% critical chance. In the Swain village, talk with the stone carver and get a stamina reduction cost relic, quite good for you. There are other options as well, of course, but this is my suggested one. Don't forget to do quest for Atli for the Winged Back Cavalier if you need it.
Well, on one we let. But. No, but. Me.
Don't forget to talk with the Bear Shrine, especially if you're stacking HP. You offer some pelt, you get a lot of HP from this. Only one time though. And this is where I took the Volker's Warborn cape. Well, thank you for watching. I'm sorry if this video came too late. I was not feeling too well. Actually, I'm still not feeling too well, but here we are, right? If you have any question or doubts, let me know in the comments below. Have fun playing Tainted Grail, and I will see you in the next video.